The 25th of January, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, so hi Lou.
Hi, Rabbi. How are you? Hello, Phil.
Hello, how you doing? Okay.
Okay, we're ready to go. Let's start from Omar Rava. So last two words on Kufit Ches Amid Aleph, 118a.
Amar Rava. Rava said, my taima de Rav Chisda. What is the reason for Rav Chisda? Or of Rav Chisda? Ho'il ve'ankita nigrei berayasa. A stolen animal requires extra protection since he got her into the habit of taking steps outside.
Intera Nigre Baraisa. Wow.
So in other words, an animal will naturally have a tendency to stay in captivity. Once a thief takes the animal out of the pen, I guess, so now the animal is no longer has that that built-in shyness, I guess you might say, and it's more likely to break out on its own.
Okay. I'm going to read the Rashi on that and see if you can explain. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you're trying that's what the art scroll says. It says Ho'il the Inkara Nagre Baraita. Because he took these steps first. Lambda, let's say, he could learn.
Don't they have one second? They should have an explanation of what it is that we're trying to explain about Rav Chisda, which is not understood. Before you get to the answer, you got to understand what the question is. Rav is saying there's a question with Rav Chisda. My time with Rav Chisda. What's the reasoning for Rav Chisda? Why? What's wrong with what Rav Chisda says? We said yesterday he's the odd man out over here of all four opinions over here.
Mm-hmm.
In what sense is that so? Rashi, take a look at the Rashi. My time with Reb Chisda.
That's what I was trying to read.
Oh, okay. I thought you were reading further than that. You started talking about the Enkara Negre Brisa. That's already the answer.
Let's go back to the reason of Rav Chisda, which we didn't explain now because that was something from the day before.
Okay.
It's good, the reason, the kulam of all of them, nicha, that it goes well, the adif lahu, because it's preferred to him, ladat, with his knowledge, umishalo midat, whether it matters, everybody, whether it matters his knowledge or no knowledge. The old misna is latutse, a reason, kivatayu tuffy, according to his reasoning, is better. Okay, that doesn't really explain about what it was.
Okay, let's explain what Rashi's saying over here. Rashi's addressing himself to why it is that in what halacha is Reb Chisda the odd man out over here of all of the four. So Rashi says, "B'shlema taima de kulu nicha." the reasoning of the other three is understood, says Rashi. Why? What's so good about what they say? Oh, 1 second. Alan is trying to get in. Let's bring Alan in. Okay. In what way is in what aspect is the other three, their reasoning is all on the same wavelength, and it resonates with us. He's talking about the din of what he says over here, the adif lahu ladas mishalo ladas, that the case of gezela, when the owner knows that the animal is stolen, that is adif than the case of the gezela when the shaloladas, that the owner does not even know that the animal was stolen. And we see that in if we take a look and we remember the opinions of Rav, for example. Rav said that when the owner knows that the animal has been stolen, that's the case of the Reisha. Rav says that's the case that the guy, when he returns it, he needs to inform him that his stolen animal, which he knows was stolen, was returned, and it won't be sufficient to get that Goslin off the hook out of responsibility for that animal, just by virtue of the fact that the owner makes a minion and he counts his animals and he finds that, oh, all the animals are here, everything is fine. No, that won't get the guy off the hook. Whereas Rav holds in the case where the owner never knew that the animal was even stolen altogether, and then the Goslin returns it, and he doesn't tell the owner that it's being returned. So the owner didn't know that it was stolen. He didn't know that it was returned. And if he makes a counting, so that will, and the counting means that he sees that all the animals are there. That is enough already to get the Goslin off the hook. That's what Rav holds, and Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan don't hold exactly that. What Rav holds, they do differ, but they all agree that the position of the one who stole it, and the owner knows that it was stolen, he's got to make more of a he got to make more of a hashava of a return in terms of informing the guy than the guy that stole it, and he didn't even know, the owner, that the animal was stolen. But Rav Chisda says just the opposite of all three of them. Rav Chisda says that in the case where the owner knows that the animal was stolen, he says, yeah, he doesn't have to tell him when he returns it at all. It's enough that the owner makes a minion, and that exempts him. Whereas if the owner did not know that the animal was stolen, that's the case that Rav Chisda thinks is more of an obligation to inform him, and he won't be off the hook with a minion. He'll have to inform him that the animal is being returned, and otherwise he's going to be on the hook, even though the owner never knew to begin with that the animal was stolen altogether. And so in this prat, Reb Chisda is the odd man out. And so that's what Rabba is saying, my time of the Reb Chisda. Why is it that Reb Chisda looks at the Goslin that steals, and the owner doesn't even know that he's going to be judged more severely then the goslin that steals and the owner does know that he stole the animal. That's what Rabba is coming to explain. What's the reasoning for that with Reb Chisda? Okay. Okay, so now this that Luf read Hoyel the Ankata Nigre Brisa. Now the animal has been introduced to the existence of the outside world. He gets a shmek for action out there, so he wants to go out more. What is that? How does that explain? There's Rashi over here that's gonna on that Rashi. Who wants to read that Rashi? You both read something so far, so take your pick. Who wants to read this?
Want me to read this Rashi, Lou?
Go ahead, Roy. Phil.
Yeah, it's Phil. Okay. We're up to the second Rashi that says who since the Inkara Nagre bright at first, that he took its steps first. Lamadnu, it learned, let's say chutz, to go outside. From now, Tricha, it needs Shimur, needs to be watched. Yafed has to be watched well. The Teva, the low Yada, and since now he doesn't know, Balim, since the owners don't know, Lo Mazhire, they're not.
Okay.
They're not careful so much.
Right.
About Ladad, but if it's known, Minyan, if it's known the count, he would be putter. He would be putter if he knew that he counted it properly. Shahare Hakiro, since it's known, Shenigvana v'chazer, that it was known that it was stolen and it was returned because you didn't count afterwards. The Amakshat now, Yaz Hirobo, it's being Yaz Hiro is known about,
Okay, so
so to speak.
We're trying to explain why it is that Rav Chisda judges the Ganiv, the Goslin, who steals the animal, in the case where the owner does not know that the animal has been stolen. He doesn't know that the animal has ever been stolen. Why that Goslin is judged more strictly, in the sense that when he returns the animal, it's not enough that he doesn't tell the guy and he just returns the animal. He's got to tell the guy, this animal, you should know, was stolen and it's being returned right now. As opposed to if the owner knows that the animal has been stolen, then he doesn't. Then the Goslin doesn't need to tell him when the animal is returned that this animal is now being returned. You should know it's being returned now. It was stolen and it's being returned. So he said this is the exact opposite of the way all the other Amoraim learn this Mishnah over here. Why is it that Reb Chisda is saying like this? And this answer that Rabba is giving is a fascinating answer. What the answer is that Rashi says, "Lamda lotzeis chutz." How is it that you can steal an animal? The general way that you steal the animal is not that you simply kidnap the animal and drag it away, but you get the animal to to escape. You teach the animal to take steps to you know to leave the barn. It's really the animal which with the instruction of the Ganav that is taking his own steps and teaching the animal how to escape. And so therefore we said Miatat tzricha shimur yafeh, says Rashi. And now that the animal has been taught how to escape where it is that he's been taken, held over there in the barn. So now the owner, of course, has got an animal which is more liable to escape than he did before, and this is the main fallout that stealing the animal has with the animal. So what's the difference whether the owner knows or not? Now we know, says Rashi. Now there's a big difference now. Kevan de lo yadu bailim, since the owner does not know that this animal has been stolen, lo mizdayer ba. He's not going to know to be careful with that animal, to be extra careful with that particular animal, to make sure that it stays in the pen, because he doesn't realize that animal has now been taught how it is that you can just leave the pen if you want to. But the guy who stole the animal and the owner realizes and knows that animal was stolen, so then minyan poter. Then it's not necessary for the owner, for the what's his name, the Goslin, to return the animal and also to inform the owner that this animal was stolen and it's now being returned to the flock. Doesn't need to do that. It'll be enough that when he does make the return of the animal, this first Goslin, he returns the animal. He doesn't tell him though. But now the owner makes a minyan and he sees that all the animals are there. That is already enough to exempt the Goslin from any further liability, because Sharei Hekiru Shenignava Vehexira Umeakshav Yizdaruba. Because now that the owner knew he knew that the animal was stolen. So now when the animal is back, he knows to be careful with that animal, because that animal is more likely to try to get out of the pen than the other animals are. So this is why therefore Rav Chisda says that if the owner didn't originally know that you stole the animal, you gotta return it. You gotta return it, of course, and not only return it, but you gotta tell him that this animal was stolen. So that way the owner knows to protect himself for the future in regard to that animal. Because okay, I think that's the explanation. Okay. Now the Gemora continues. Umi Amar Rava Hachi. Lou, would you like to read?
Rava Chachi. And did Rava really say this? The Amar Rava, but Rava said, Hai man de chaz ye le have rei de ag ba im ra me edra di day. In this case, in the case of this man who saw his fellow lift a sheep from his flock with the intent to steal it, Virama be Kala, and he yelled at the thief, Vishadye, who then threw it down. V'lo yada e hadrei e lo hadrei. But the owner did not know whether he returned the animal or whether he did not return it. Umeis o negnav, and it subsequently died or was stolen again, I guess stolen a second time. Chayev v'acharayuso. The thief is responsible for it. My love, af al gav de money. Now, is it not the case where even the owner counted?
Oh, I see. Right.
So doesn't it? So you're saying it doesn't matter whether he counted or not? I don't know. I'm a little confused.
Okay, let's break this case down again. So the Gemora is questioning, Miomar Rava Hachi. Did Rava really say this what he said in his explanation of Rav Chisda? Okay, remember what we said that Rava said, that the reason he was explaining why it is that Rav Chisda holds the way he holds, because of the fallout that occurs to a owner of an animal if he doesn't know that his animal has been stolen. That's a significant fallout, and so that's the reason why, because the animal's more likely, more capable of escaping, even if he is returned. And so that's why Rav Chisda requires the owner. Sorry, that's why Rav Chisda requires the Goslin, specifically in a case where the owner did not know that the animal was stolen, that he's got to inform him when he is returned. So in that case, at least at the end of the day, the owner will know that this animal has learned how to escape from the pen, and he's better watch him. So that's the whole thing that Rava said about Rav Chisda. So on that, the Gemora is saying, how could it be that Rava said that? Because look over here what Rava said. What Rava said over here does not is the opposite of what you want to explain that Rava said over there. What's opposite? So what is this case all about? There's a guy, Haiman de Chazi Lechabre, the Agbe Imra Idra Day. There's a guy, owner of a flock, and he sees his friend, not much of a friend, that he's lifting his animal from the flock, presumably with the intention of stealing it from him, some friend, huh? And what does he do? Rama Bekala. He says, Goslin. And the guy says, "Oh, I'm getting out of here." Vishadya. He throws the animal literally from his hands, and he runs away, I guess, to avoid being caught. Velo yoda ihadre ilo hadre. But the owner of the animal, he doesn't know whether what's his name, this friend of his, actually, what doesn't he know? He doesn't know whether he returned the animal into the flock or not. Okay, he knows that the guy tried to steal the animal and was in the process of stealing it, but he doesn't know whether he ever returned it. That's what it sounds like. And then the animal, something happens to the animal, it's stolen a second time, or it dies, and we say chayev b'achriuso. The ganav is chayev. Who's chayev? This first guy who tried to steal it. Now, why is it that he's chayev over here? So the Gemora says, "My love avugav demane." Based upon what Rava said, it sounds like this first guy is going to be chayev, and it makes no difference whether or not the owner made accounting or didn't make accounting. Meaning that even if the owner made accounting, it sounds like this ganav is going to be on the hook. He's going to be liable. So that's not like the way that Rava explained Reb Chisda before. Why is it not like the way Rava explained Reb Chisda before? Because Rava said before that if the owner knows that his animal was stolen, so that in that case, even if the goslin does return it, but if and he doesn't inform the owner, and the owner makes accounting, he's going to be off the hook, the goslin. Over here, the Gemora is saying the goslin is on the hook. He's going to be chayev, even though, says the Gemora, we can assume that the guy made accounting, and he found that the animal was returned. So even though he didn't know that it was returned, doesn't mean he doesn't know it was returned, because the guy didn't come to tell him. He did return it, actually. He did return it, but he didn't tell him. So the guy doesn't know, wasn't informed. And nevertheless, this goslin is going to be chayev. So here we see that Rava is going like the other three. Himself is going like the other three. So the Gemara is assuming that that's the opposite of the way Rava explained Reb Chisda. Okay. Now we got some Rashis over here. We got two short Rashis, three Rashis. Haiman de Chaziel Chabre de Agbe Imra the Idra the Day. Two words of Rashi.
The two words Kedei Lagonva, in order for a theft.
In order to steal it.
To steal it, yeah.
All it says is that he was Agve. He did Hagba. Why did he do Hagba on this sheep? You only do Hagba on a Sefer Torah. But why is he doing Hagba on the sheep? He's doing Hagba on the sheep because he wants to make off with the sheep. So Rashi says he did that in order to steal it.
He wanted to steal it.
So at that point, the owner sees that, and he shouts at the guy, and then the guy throws down the animal and runs away. And then then Rava says, and he doesn't know whether he returned it or not. Meaning to say that what happened in the case is that the goslin, I guess, did return it. He did return the animal to the flock, but he didn't tell the owner that he's returning the flock because he didn't want to get it over the head from the owner for stealing the animal in the first place. So he just gave it back and ran away. Didn't tell him. So the animal has actually been returned. Now, so in this case, we would expect if Rav was going to say, like he explained Rav Chisda, that since the animal was stolen with the knowledge of the owner, then that would be enough of him. That would be enough for the goslin to make a proper hashava and exempt himself for stealing the animal. If the owner knows that the animal was stolen, the minion would potter. That he made a minion and found that there was all the animals was there. That's enough of a knowledge for him to be potter. Okay, let's see the next Rashi. Apugab the money. Lou, you want to read?
Afagav Demane. Let's see, where is that? Afagav.
End of the third line.
End of the third line. You're on Kuf Yud Chet Amid Base, right?
Right.
Afagav Demani, third line.
Third line from the top. End of the line.
I don't see it.
No?
Afagav. My third line ends with
You're really reading four words on the top, on the fourth line of Rashi. The fourth line from the top, the wide lines on
reading
top.
the Rashi?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, we're talking about Rashi. Yeah.
That's why I'm confused. Okay. Let's see. Third line. Afagav Tamani. Alma da'as tarich da'as. So what we see that knowledge requires knowledge.
Yeah, that's what the words mean. That's the types, right?
Oh, if you want me to explain it, you're not going to succeed.
Okay. Okay. So what do these words mean in Rashi? The Gemora is suggesting over here, my love. What's the explanation why that Rava holds that this Goslin is going to be chayav if the animal is stolen or dies, even though he returned it to the flock after having stolen it, and a second Goslin steals it or it dies, the first Goslin going to be chayav, says the Gemara, my love, afagav, the money. Isn't he going to be liable, the first guy? Even on the tzad that the owner made a counting of the flock, and he found that the count was full. He found that the animal that he knows was stolen was returned, because now he sees he's got all of his animals that he had before the gazela happened, and nevertheless we see that according to Rava that the first ganav, he's going to be chayav. He's going to be chayav. Why is he going to be chayav? Says Rashi, I'll tell you why. Alma, because we see from here that Rava holds ledas sarik das. That's why he's going to be chayav. What does it mean, ledas sarik das? That knowledge requires knowledge. If the animal was originally stolen with knowledge of the owner, so then it's required that the return of the animal also be with knowledge, that the owner has to be informed that the animal is being returned to him. In other words, it would not be enough to make a accounting and just find out that, oh yeah, he's got all of his animals in the flock over here. No, that's not enough. And so if that's what Rava is saying, then that's not at all like what Rava said in his explanation of Reb Chisda. And on that, what does the Gemara answer? Now we go back to the Gemora. I don't think we read this yet. The Gemora just answers, lo, the low money. No, you're making an assumption over here that you don't have any proof of that. You don't have any basis for that. Says the Gemara. We'll say that that Rav is talking about a case where the owner did not make a minion of the animals. He did not make a counting of the flock. And so therefore, that's why the Goslin will be on the hook. But really, in fact, Rav does not agree to that das is Sorik das. He doesn't agree to that. He holds like the way that he explained according to Reb Chisda. So the whole question has been rejected. Okay.
Okay.
So there we go. Everybody have a great Tu B'Shvat.
Good Tu B'Shvat and good Shabbos. Take care. Be
Yeah,
well.
good Shabbos. All the best, Phil. Yash Koyach. All the best, Alan.
Right.
We'll see you tomorrow, B'Ezrat Hashem.
Hey.
And bye to Lou. Happy Tu B'Shvat.
Happy Tu B'Shvat. Thank you, Rabbi. See you tomorrow.